It's from a 30-year-old assistant professor. She's asking, Namaste, sir. Often, while talking to friends and colleagues, I tend to nowadays talk about the Upanishads, but they see it as some sort of exotic, different type of readings that I'm undertaking, as opposed to realizing that they are the very essence, the authority on life. In my social circle, an academician is an authority. I cannot seem to communicate that Upanishads are not a side study, but really everything that could be seen and heard. There's no question at the end, but I think she's asking that how do I communicate to them that that the Upanishads are really the essence and authority of life, and also why is such
You
a
will have to
situation?
continue going deeper into the Upanishads. Two things will then concurrently happen. One, you will gain the conviction and the argument to be more convincing to others. Secondly, you will lose the need to be more convincing to others. Oh. You will gain the power, the argument, the clarity to be more convincing to others. Equally, you will lose the need to be more convincing to the others. In your question, I sense a lot of need. Where does that need come from? That need comes from the desperation to keep the company of the Upanishads and still not lose your old company. If you are with the Upanishads and with people who do not acknowledge the Upanishads, what are you doing with those people? Right now, it is not as if you want to do others a favor by explaining the Upanishads to them. Right now, you are in a need to explain to the others because probably you cannot afford to be without the others. That is because your study of the Upanishads is still not deep enough. What is liberation? If not liberation from bad company? Of what use have the Upanishads been if they could not give you the strength, the conviction to reject bad company? And bad company is not merely that which would abuse the Upanishads. If they think of Upanishads as some exotic toys, what else is bad company? What else is bad company? So it's a funny combination. You become more capable of explaining to others, and you become less needful of explaining to others. Now you do not explain to others because it's an obligation upon you. Now you do not explain to others because you cannot survive without the others. Now you explain to the others from a position of strength, not a position of desperation. And that's when the funniness in the story continues. That's when others realize that Upanishads indeed do have power. When they'll see that you are not even interested in explaining to unworthy people, they'll realize you have understood something important. And then they'll come a-begging. They'll say, please tell us what you have known. Please tell us what you have known. And now you are not desperate to explain to them. Now you will choose the worthy listeners. And when the worthy ones will be there, you will find you are very capable of explaining to them. Initially, the condition is the opposite. You are desperate to explain to others and not capable of explaining at all. So you can imagine what happens. You run around gathering people, trying to convince them that the Upanishads you have recently gained familiarity with are nice things to read. But you yourself don't have much depth. So the crowd that you gather does not get impressed by you. Your arguments have hardly any depth. So there is this huge crowd you have gathered out of your need, out of your own desperation to maintain relationships and company. And the crowd just feels bemused and amused. What is this new thing he has gotten into? And all in all, one gives the Upanishads a bad name. Some smart chap comes up with a smart question. And that fellow has had nothing to do with spirituality at all. And he comes up with a funny question. People are smart. And you have no proper response. What have you done to the Upanishads? You have given them a bad name. First thing in liberation is feel empowered to dismiss unworthy people. Why do you have to be in their company? If a worthy one is spotted, do everything you can to relay this special knowledge to him or her. But unworthy ones, unwilling ones, two hoots to them. People come, take the Upanishads from here, and then feel depressed. Their parents or spouses are not heeding to the Upanishads. So I ask them, why must your spouse or your parents be the first ones to gain this knowledge from you? If they are not listening to you, go and teach this to your neighbor or to some random person on the street. There are so many eligible and willing people. They'll be very happy to receive this knowledge from you. But to them you will not go because you do not have a blood relationship with them, because you do not have selfish interests tied to them. So you won't go to them. Instead you go to their spouse. It's alright, I do not say do not teach the Upanishads to your spouse. But having tried with your spouse, if you meet resistance and unwillingness and also ineligibility, why do you still keep wasting your time with that ineligible person? Aren't there other more deserving candidates to invest your time upon? Go to them, teach them. But no, we are held captive by bonds of blood, by bonds of pecuniary or social interest. No? I have just learned the Upanishad, and if I can impress my boss with it, I'll gain a quick promotion. So I'll go to the boss and gift a copy of the Upanishads. And the boss doesn't care. And then I'm hurt. And then what do? I ask Acharya, how to impress one's boss with the Upanishads. Offer your resignation. He'll be impressed. Your resignation will be your first baby step towards the Upanishad. Why work under a boss who's stupid enough to not respect the Upanishads? Aren't you ashamed? But the boss is boss. Even if the boss throws the Bhagwad Gita to the dustbin in front of you, you will not resign. Because we are servants to money. No?